This video is part 5 and the last video of the chapter Probability. In the first 4 videos of the chapter, I discussed almost everything related to the chapter. Introduction to properties, different categories of questions like tossing coins, throwing dice, playing cards, etc. In the current video, I discuss questions on probability on days in a leap year and non-leap year, and some questions on independent pure mathematical concepts. Let's start. Before taking questions on leap year and non-leap year, let's recall and observe days in a year with a mathematical view. As we know, total number of days in a non-leap year is 365. When 365 is divided by 7, the number of days in a week, then we observe the quotient is 52. That shows 52 times complete weeks are there, starting from the first day of the year. The remainder obtained through this division is 1. That shows after completing 52 weeks, starting from first day of the year, 1 day is left. As we know, after completing a week, the next day comes is the first day of another week. Hence, after completing 52 weeks in a year, what the first day was of the year, the same day we get the last day of the year. Let's understand it through an example. If the first day of an year is Monday, then after completing first 7 days, the 8th day, that is the first day of the next week, is Monday only. Hence, after completing 52 weeks, that is the first day of the 53rd week, is Monday only. Another example, if first day of an year is Friday, then last day of the year is Friday only. A leap year. In a leap year, as we know, total number of days is 366. And when it is divided by 7, we get 52 as quotient and 2 as remainder. That shows in a leap year, 52 complete weeks are there starting from first day of the year, and after completing 52 weeks, 2 more days are left as the last 2 days of the leap year. Let's go through step by step. The total number of days in a leap year, 366. It has 52 complete weeks starting from the first day of the year. After completing 52 weeks, 2 days are left as remainder. That shows the last 2 days of the year, where the second last day is the first day of the year and the last day is the second day of the year. Let's understand through an example. If first day of a leap year is Monday, then after each 7 days, the first day of next week is Monday only. It means starting from the first day of an year, after completing 52 weeks, the next day, that is the first day of the 53rd week, is Monday only. Hence, the last 2 days of the leap year are Monday and Tuesday. Another example, if first day of an year is Friday, then the last 2 days of the year, the leap year are Friday and Saturday. Let's understand the same concept using tabular representation of data. First statement. If first day of an year is Sunday, then after completing 7 days, the eighth day, that is first day of the next week, is Sunday only. And hence the day comes after each 7 day is Sunday only. And after completing 52 weeks, the last day of the year is again the first day of the next week. Hence, this day also is Sunday. Therefore, total of 52 Sundays are there in the year. Next statement. If first day of a year is Monday, then after each 7 days, the next day comes Monday only. Hence, after 52 complete weeks, starting from first day of the year, we get the last day of the year as first day of another week. Hence, that day is Monday only. Therefore, total of 53 Mondays are there in the year which starts from Monday only. Similarly, the same concept can be used in remaining examples where the first day of an year is Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday. Let's observe the same tabular representation of data in case of a leap year. If an year starts from Monday, then in a non-leap year, then the probability of getting 52 Mondays in a non-leap year is 6 by 7, and the probability of getting 53 Mondays in a non-leap year is 1 by 7. And the same format questions we can generate for other days of a week. Let's understand the tabular representation of data in case of a leap year. If first day of the year is Sunday, then after each 7 days, the next day is Sunday only. Therefore, last 2 days left after completing first 52 weeks are Sunday and Monday. Next example. If first day of the year is Monday, then the day comes after each 7 days is Monday only. And therefore, after completing 52 weeks, the last 2 days are Monday and Tuesday. Similarly, the remaining days of a week can be explained the same way. The overall observation is if a leap year starts from Sunday, then the last 2 days are Sunday and Monday, and therefore the number of Mondays in that year is 53. Second one, if the year starts with Monday, then after completing 52 weeks, the last 2 days are Monday and Tuesday. Hence, the number of Mondays in that year is 53. And then, in the remaining 5 cases, the number of Mondays in a leap year will remain 52. Hence, in a leap year, if the year starts with Monday, then the probability of getting 52 Mondays in the leap year is 5 by 7, and probability of getting 53 Mondays in that leap year is 2 by 7. Here is one uncommon question but simple. Question number 14. Take the word possibility and find the probability of the followings in the given word. Since the word has 11 letters, hence the number of all possible outcomes is equal to 11. The first question: find the probability of getting an alphabet capital A. Since the letter capital A doesn't exist in the word, hence the number of favorable outcomes is 0. Therefore, probability is 0 by 11, or in simplified form the answer is 0. Next question, question number B. Find the probability of getting an alphabet capital S. By observing letters of the word possibility, I find that S appears 2 times. Hence, the number of favorable outcome is 2 out of 11. Therefore, probability is 2 by 11. Next question, question number C. Find the probability of getting a vowel. By observing the word possibility, I find total of 4 vowels are there. The alphabet O appears once and the alphabet I appears 3 times. Therefore, number of favorable outcomes is 4 and hence probability is 3 by 11. Next question, number D. Find the probability of getting a constant. By observing the same word, I find that total number of constants in the word is 7 and they are P, S, S, B, L, T, Y. Therefore, the number of favorable outcomes is 7 and hence probability is 7 by 11. Next question, number E. Find the probability of getting an alphabet less than capital P. It means in alphabetical order, the letters appear before P are A, B, C, D onwards till O. By observing the word, I found that in the word that alphabets appear in the word possibility are O, B, I, L, I that comes before P in alphabetical order and total of 6 letters are there. Hence, number of favorable outcomes is 6 and hence probability is 6 by 11. Let's take another question. Question number 15. A spinning wheel consists of 16 identical sectors filled with different colors red, green, blue and yellow. An arrow attached points any of the color when the spinning wheel comes to rest. Find the probability that the arrow will point at. Number A. Find the probability of getting red colored sector. Here total of 16 identical sectors are there of different colors and out of which 3 sectors are red. Therefore, all possible outcomes is 16 and number of favorable outcomes is 3. Hence, probability is 3 by 16. Number B. Find the probability of getting a green colored sector. The total number of green colored sector is 6. Hence, probability is 6 by 16. Hence, probability is 6 by 16. And the answer in simplified form is 3 by 8. Number C. Find the probability of getting a blue colored sector. In the diagram, I find total of 5 blue colored sectors are there. Therefore, Number of favorable outcomes is 5 and probability is 5 by 16. Number D. Find the probability of getting a red or a green colored sector. In the diagram, total of 3 red sectors are there and 6 green sectors are there. Therefore, total of 9 sectors are there which are red or green. So, number of favorable outcomes is 9. Hence, probability is 9 by 16. Number D. Find the probability of getting neither red nor green colored sector. Let's count sectors in the diagram which are neither red nor green. I find in the diagram there are 7 such sectors which are other than red and green. Hence, number of favorable outcomes is 7. Therefore, probability is 7 by 16. Here is the next question. Question number 16. Cards marked with 1, 2, 3, 4, so on till 20 are well shuffled and a card is drawn at random. Find the probability of the followings. Number A. Find the probability of a prime numbered card. Prime numbers in the range 1 to 20 are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and 19. And all those prime numbered cards are shown here in different color. Hence, total number of 8 prime numbered cards are there. So, number of favorable outcomes is 8. And hence, probability is 8 by 20. And the answer in simplified form is 2 by 5. Next question, number B. Find the probability of a number divisible by 3. All the numbers in the range 1 to 20 are shown here and they are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 and 18. And these cards are shown in different colors on the screen. Since total of 6 such cards are there, therefore number of favorable outcomes is 6 and hence probability is 6 by 20 and the value in simplified form is 3 by 10. Number C. Find the probability of getting a perfect square card. Perfect squares in the range 1 to 20 are 1, 4, 9 and 16. Since there are 4 such cards, hence number of favorable outcomes is 4. And all those cards are shown here on the screen in different color. The number of favorable outcomes is 4. Therefore, probability is 4 by 20 and the value in simplified form is 1 by 5. Here the chapter probability completes. I tried my best to cover all possible category questions with satisfactory explanations through total of 5 useful videos. Prepare the chapter seriously. Thank you and God bless you.